Every kitten grows up to be a cat. They seem so harmless at first, small, quiet, lapping up their saucer of milk. But once their claws get long enough, they draw blood, sometimes from the hand that feeds them. For those of us climbing to the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is but one rule: hunt or be hunted. Welcome back.
George Hoyte, Evergreen / Lyceum, December 8, 2009. B.E.S.D. Black Economic Success TACOMA. The pros: we as a people are still talking about taking control of our economy. The cons: we as a people are still talking about taking control of our economy. I was truly impressed with Carl L. Livingston Jr.'s inspirational speech, and I can't wait to read his book Shoestrings and Bootstraps. I am glad to see that we are still at least talking about getting control of our economic dollar, but I'm saddened that in this seminar I haven't learned anything new. The lack of true leadership has left us as a people without a head, rambling on, making points and counterpoints on a subject we all already agree on. When I was married in the early 90s, Pastor Fleming, my father-in-law, I was watching Tony Brown's Journal. On the program, the panel was discussing what the black race needs to do to get out of poverty. Pastor Fleming made a comment about the panel that struck me funny and saddened me at the same time. They were talking about this same thing 50 years ago. It seems we could take the shackles off our feet, but still haven't figured out how to remove the chains from our brains. It felt like the rip-off that I felt after the Million Man March. Don't get it twisted, I was glad to support it and be a part of it, but what did we get out of it? These pretty speeches and personality showbiz liberation movements need to have some sort of real plan of action that we can utilize on a micro basis to help empower ourselves, our people. I was in the Getting the Money Red Dot group. An elder spoke about supporting black businesses even if they charge more for their merchandise. This is just unrealistic. I remember trying to sell Final Call newspaper during the Million Man March on Hilltop. I didn't make $1. We as a people have got the outlandish notion that we need to give each other free services. If we work at a business, our friends will expect a discount from us even if we are only an employee. The only fair business I see our people support is the black barber / stylist profession, and that is only because we have that type of hair in common. I hope in Carl L. Livingston's book Shoestrings and Bootstraps that I can find some sort of real game theory that can help me lift myself out of poverty. Then maybe I can help the rest of my community get out of poverty and have more to offer my people than an eloquent speech.
Say notice. Ferocious. Jungle of fast lane. Get money. If money be the root of all sin, why does the boy with the most toys win? Who wanna come in last place in this fast-paced rat race? Speaking on how when gas stays XL, X on, Jones be long gone, showing off his on MTV Crips. Have versus have-nots, war on the poor. 2009 bottom line going for mine. Credit cards, student loans for whips, iPhones, new technology with no apology. Bling psychology, I got to have it. No rest till I own the planet, damn it. Stuck on the bus, ride with me. Gas, or ass, no one rides for free. In this economy, it's hard to maintain. Keeping up with Jones in the fast lane. Give me everything I see on TV that got Jones gas like BP, clear as HD, high definition, hooray, Blu-ray, satellite dishing, still I'm wishing for more and more stuff. My ambition, catch up the buff. Call me crazy cause I want bigger figures than Jay-Z. I bat a bitch than his lady, maybe. I don't give a shit who hate me. Sucker, I'm a hustler, fuck your payment. All about to come up, foot to the dash. That your son, I bought this baby cash. Stuck on the bus on the ride with me. Gas, or ass, no one rides for free. In this economy, it's hard to maintain. Keeping up with Jones in the fast lane. I'm here on business, minds of the grind, in this capitalistic design. Player, I ain't mad at you. If you want the avenue, it's all about your revenue. Do what you have to do. Survival of the fittest till the victor goes to sports. And all because G.O.D. means gold, gold, and drugs. Royal family thugs, international bankers that gank it without saying thank you. Rothschild, Warburg, Federal Reserve, Illuminati's world order recurs. You sell your spiritual self for material wealth. High class homes is keeping up with the Joneses. Suck on the bus, home ride with me. Gas, or ask no one rides for free. In this economy, it's hard to maintain. Keeping up with Jones in the fast lane.
The road to power is paved with hypocrisy and casualties. Never regret.
George R. Hoyte. Evergreen/Lyceum. November 17, 2009. Bill Dickens, Senior Utilities Economist. Bill Dickens is a pleasure to listen to because there is a broad stereotype that African Americans are not good with money. This stereotype is supported by the fact that the money that comes into the hands of Black America is usually spent on doodads and liabilities instead of assets. We have yet to be able to come together and make the money that comes into our community turn over and make our money work for our self-interest. This may be some after effects from a slave mentality, and that is the reason Bill Dickens is refreshing to listen to. Bill Dickens stated that economics is more than just dollars and cents. He explained some of the markings on the dollar bill, like the mystery behind the number 12, meaning the 12 Federal Reserve banks. He exposed the fact that almost everyone wants universal health care, but hardly anyone wants to help pay for it personally. He went into his program he called TARGET, Total Asset Recovery and Growth for an Economic Tacoma. He said that since we are in the midst of change, we must look at new ways to exploit new opportunities. He explained assets and how they are any kind of income producing process. He also identified his steps for TARGET. 1. Identify what assets we have. 2. Prioritize assets by priority. 3. Recognize liabilities and reduce them. 4. Maximize our, TACOMA's, net worth. Then he prioritized our assets. 1. Military. 2. Ports. 3. Health sector. 4. Education. Mr. Dickens also pointed out that our economy has been reset, that global economic recovery will be slower than forecasted, and that the demographics of power have shifted. I found Mr. Dickens inspiring and informative and will definitely buy his book, Economics in the Hood.
It's always a pleasure to watch you work.
What's happened, officer? Well, little bit Peep here has lost her sheep and she doesn't know where to find them. Look, if you just leave them alone, I'm sure they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them.
Everybody in the business is a criminal. And how can you ever trust a criminal?